Meanwhile, we look at the Minnesota Vikings, and you look at their loss to the Lions today. You see the Cowboys barely getting by with the Houston Texans. So what was more disappointing to you, Minnesota's performance or Dallas?
Honestly, I'm going to say Minnesota. Now, Dallas, I felt like a little asleep at the wheel. No, you're going to beat the Houston Texans. Made some mistakes, definitely. We just talked about it. Dak Prescott threw 2 pretty bad interceptions. They dropped a punt return that set up a short field touchdown for the Texans. Minnesota, on the other hand, I know we have the Dalvin Cook fumble, but they don't run the ball. They rely on just Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson to make it happen. And their defense, as we've seen here about 6-7 weeks in a row, is just not very good. So I have more questions about them, even though their record's better than Dallas, than I do the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has playmakers at all facets of their football team. The Vikings, it's spotty, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out how the hell they got the record they got right now anyways, because they've really kind of been outplayed 5 out of the last 6 weeks.
And you look at what Detroit was able to do. They have been streaking. They look good. They've got some pretty good energy in that locker room. Their coach is fired up.
They're scary.
Them trending in the right direction. Do they make the playoffs? Do they sneak in?
I think if you ask me right now, I'd like Washington and Detroit to sneak into those last 2 spots. I think Seattle's got too tough of a schedule and not a good enough defense. And I think the Giants it was a good run for us Giants this year. This is better than we expected, but it's falling apart here.
We're still going to watch.
Yeah, we're still going to watch. We're going to hope and keep our fingers crossed.
We're going to watch, hopefully. All right. So it's certainly some interesting conversations around the league, and it's that time of the season where we get to bring in our resident expert and what's going to happen, and our fortune teller and Steve Kornacki. So let's hear what he has to say about the playoff picture.
Yeah, let's take a look at the NFC here and the wild card in particular. So 3 wild card spots. Look, Dallas a win away from locking up at least a wild card. So really the action now is around the final 2 wild card spots on the NFC side. And there we had a shakeup today. Both the Giants and the Seahawks going down. It enabled the Commanders, who did not play this week and started the week outside of the top 7 in the NFC. They vault all the way up to the 6th spot now in the NFC. And Seattle, which began the week in the top 7, ends the week outside of the top 7. Let's take a look at what remains for all 4 of these teams. Again, going for 2 spots right here. Washington, look at this. Our model gives them nearly a 3-4 chance of making the playoffs. A big reason here, they are red hot lately. 6-1-1 in their last 8 games. Obviously, a big one looming next week against the Giants. Meanwhile, the Giants and the Seahawks, we say they lost today. They've both been doing a lot of losing lately. The Giants 1-4-1 in their last 6. Seahawks losers of 3 of their last 4. By the way, they got to deal with the Niners and the Chiefs next. If the Giants and the Seahawks keep losing, it opens the door to, and I can't believe I'm saying this in the middle of December, the Detroit Lions. Those 5 of 6 wins you're talking about have brought them to 6-7. And just today, they began the day with a 7% shot of making the playoffs. They tripled that today. They end the day at 21%. That is better than a 1-in-5 chance that the Lions end up in the playoffs.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.